Welcome to Season 2 of the Shekina Meditation Podcast, created by community members and friends of Shekina Garden in Pai, Thailand. Shekina communities are dedicated to creating free devotional spaces of Christian practice for spiritual seekers and travelers around the world. We post Christ-centered guided meditation each week to help you in your personal or small group practice. You can find episode show notes and other information at shekinacommunity.com. Hi friends, this is Ray and I'm sitting with my friend Ro at Shekina Garden, and it's a beautiful overcast, very green, quite cool day, and just a beautiful day to be recording this podcast intro. It is Season 2, Episode 90 of the podcast.
Wow.
And as always, our patrons, you guys, you are the ones who are supporting us, supporting the podcast. We are raising money to help our community thrive and exist and be free, and for travelers and spiritual seekers, just a place that people can come to learn about Christ, to explore Christ practices, and you guys help us to do that with your patronage. So thank you. If you want to join in this little community, you can find us at patreon.com/Shekina Meditation Podcast, and you can support us there.
There are lots of other ways that you can support us as well. If financially is not the way for you right at the moment, you could rate or review us on iTunes or wherever else you listen. You could share it some other way. You could put it up on your Instagram stories or your Facebook stories. You could like and subscribe on YouTube. You could just send along a little link to a friend. If you have someone in mind that you think might enjoy this, you could just recommend it to them. Any way of sharing and getting this little podcast out into the world really does help, and it just also helps us feel like connected in this little community of all us meditators. Meditation is like this quiet thing, so we don't really meet up, but we get to hear from you guys and think, there's people over in such and such who are listening to us and meditating along with us and are joined in this beautiful practice with us, and that's really sweet. And we're so encouraged by that.
So today's episode is Imagination Meditation on Luke 19, verses 1 to 10 with Ro. And Ro will start the meditation with some exercises to help you find a space of quiet, just readiness for quietness, for meditation, for contemplation, and using your imagination. And then she will guide you through the verses with plenty of space for imagination. It's very childlike, this kind of meditation, so feel free to really play with it. And third, we recommend that you spend some time processing in some way. So if you're with others, that could be sitting with others in a circle, passing a talking stick or stone around the circle, really listening well to each person, giving them time to share and express from their own self what they experienced during the meditation. Or if you're on your own, you can write some words down in a journal, even if they're just like bullet points or disjointed thoughts, things you want to bring with you. You could draw a little picture, you could make a voice recording, anything that will help you bring the meditation into the rest of your day, into the rest of your life.
So nice. Okay, let's begin. So to start, let's just find a comfortable position. We don't have to stay in the same place the whole time, but to begin with, it's good to find a position that's tall, that allows us to breathe well, that's relaxed. If you like to, you can close your eyes. Let's allow our shoulders to relax, our jaw to relax, our face to be soft, If you need to wriggle or stretch to get comfortable, feel free to do so. We might like to take a few deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Just settling ourselves down into our practice together this morning. Then we can allow our breath just to return to normal and let our attention just be on that breath. Natural and comfortable, flowing in and out of the body. Nothing else to do in this moment, just breathing and noticing. And then let's begin to let our awareness move from just on our breath to the rest of our body, other sensations in the body. Noticing how our body feels as we sit on the floor. What is warm, what is cool. The breeze on our skin. Moving around the body, noticing what we can feel and sense. If you notice some part of the body that's stiff or sore that you wish to move, that's fine. Have a little stretch or a twist, a little movement. Find a little more ease in the body, a bit more comfort. Just noticing the body. And we're going to move to the world around us with our awareness. We're surrounded by a whole world of sound, the whole festival. Sounds of nature and humans, of instruments, all different activities. We're going to move around in our imagination from sound to sound, imagining what it is that's making the sound that we can hear. If we hear a person, let's imagine, what does the person look like? If we can hear the river, what do the rocks look like that the river is running over? Moving gently from sound to sound. Find a sound, spend a few moments imagining, then move on to the next sound. And we find the sound that is the farthest away from us. Imagine what is making that sound. What is far away? And then what is a very close sound? What is the closest sound we can hear? What is making that sound? And now let's go within, into our own thoughts, our own minds. Noticing what is in our mind, thoughts or feelings, sensations. Just noticing what activity is happening inside. Trying to do so just without judgment, with kindness towards ourselves, just being gentle and kind. We might like to imagine that our thoughts are like a stream or a river floating past us. We can see what is coming, we can notice it, and then it is passing by. We can let it just move past us, down the stream, so it's not bothering us any longer. There might be all different sorts of thoughts, all different sizes of thoughts flowing past on your stream. Whatever you're thinking or feeling, it's okay. We're just noticing it and then letting it pass by. coming into this quiet space. It's okay if thoughts come back, you notice them again. It's perfectly normal and fine. And we just let them pass by again. Noticing without judgment, just with kindness towards ourselves. During the meditation, if we find ourselves distracted or taken out of the story, we can maybe come back to this image of the stream. We can notice our thought, notice what it is that might be distracting us. Acknowledge it and then just let it pass and come back into the story, enter back into the imagination. As we turn to this second part of our meditation, you might like to turn your palms upward in your lap or on your knees as a symbol of listening and receiving from the Spirit of God. Or you might like to say a simple silent prayer in your heart. I'm listening, God, or please speak to me. Please show me something. The story that we're entering into with our imagination today is from the life of Christ, an event during Jesus' life. About 2,000 years ago in Palestine. Let's imagine what life might have looked like then. What it might have been like to walk along the roads. What the people might have been wearing. What the countryside might have looked like. What the cities or towns might have looked like. I'm going to read through our story 2 times. One time for us to really get the whole picture, and then a second time more slowly, with some space to imagine and look around and see what's happening. And our story is set in a town or a small city. Let's imagine walking into the town, arriving with a big crowd of people. Jesus entered Jericho and was passing through. And there was a man named Zacchaeus. He was a chief tax collector, taking money from his own people, and he was rich. And he was seeking to see who Jesus was, but on account of the crowd, he could not, because he was small of stature. So he ran on ahead and climbed up into a sycamore tree to see him, for he was about to pass that way. And when Jesus came to the place, he looked up and said to him, "Zacchaeus, hurry and come down, for I must stay at your house today." So he hurried and came down and received him joyfully. And when they saw it, they all grumbled, "He is gone in to be the guest of a man who is a sinner." And Zacchaeus stood and said to the Lord, "Behold, Lord, the half of my goods I give to the poor. And if I have defrauded anyone of anything, I restore it fourfold." And Jesus said to him, "Today salvation has come to this house, since he also is a son of Abraham. For the Son of Man came to seek and to save the lost." Jesus entered Jericho and was passing through. What can we see as this story begins? There was a man named Zacchaeus. He was a chief tax collector, taking money from his own people, and he was rich. And he was seeking to see who Jesus was, but on account of the crowd, he could not, because he was small of stature. What can you see? So he ran on ahead and climbed up into a sycamore tree to see him, for he was about to pass that way. What do you feel? And when Jesus came to the place, he looked up and said to him, Zacchaeus, hurry and come down, for I must stay at your house today. What do you hear? So he hurried and came down and received him joyfully. What do you see? And when they saw it, they all grumbled. He has gone in to be the guest of a man who is a sinner. What do you hear? And Zacchaeus stood and said to the Lord, Behold, Lord, pardon me, behold, Lord, the half of my goods I give to the poor. And if I have defrauded anyone of anything, I restore it fourfold. What do you see? And Jesus said to him, Today salvation has come to this house, since he also is a son of Abraham. For the Son of Man came to seek and to save the lost. What do you feel? You might like to imagine that perhaps it's a little later in the day. The crowds have dissipated a little. And you see Jesus just for a moment seated by himself. If you wish, there is time and opportunity for you to go and sit by Jesus. You might like to ask him a question. You might just like to sit together for a moment. Knowing that this man is safe and welcoming and loving. Take a moment to sit by him. Perhaps ask a question and listen to what he says. We're slowly going to begin to leave this place of our imagination and of this story, knowing that at any point we can come back in our imagination. We can sit with Jesus again if we wish to. And for now, we're bringing our attention back to the here and now, back to the company of others, back to this place and this time. I like to take a few deep breaths again, letting our attention come back to our body. When we're ready, we'll share in the third part of our meditation, our sharing circle. We'll know that we're ready to begin when everyone has their eyes open once more. We can take our time coming back. When we're ready, we'll pass the stone and share.
Thank you for joining today. There will be a new guided meditation available each week, so don't forget to subscribe to iTunes or sign up for our newsletter to get podcasts delivered to your inbox at www.shekinacommunity.com/podcast newsletter. Also, you can rate or review on iTunes or sign up as a patron at patreon.com/Shekina Meditation Podcast. Have a beautiful week. Many blessings to you.